Hey.
Hello, everybody, and welcome to another daily event, Master. I was watching sports. I can't wait for sports to start over. So I was watching sports. I didn't know when said 3, 2, 1, as Pac normally does. So
it doesn't do that on here.
Well, first of all, my name is JT Foxx, world's #1 wealth and business coach, serial entrepreneur, best-selling author, property investor, private equity owner. Francie here is my CEO, also known as the Pac. We are here 3 times a day. We are here at 10:30 Eastern every morning on YouTube. We are on 3:30 Eastern time on Facebook, and then live on Instagram at 4 Eastern, live doing live coaching as well. Every day is a different topic. Yesterday was marketing and sales. The day before was speaker, coach, consultant. The day before was business growth. The day before was properties. And tomorrow we have a very big interview. Frank McKinney, the tycoon, will be on there tomorrow. We're going to post it on our social media so you can get an idea. So you'll be there tomorrow. I'm probably sure an email will go out as well. So it's a very big property tycoon, a business tycoon tomorrow. So let's get started here as well. You were thoroughly missed yesterday. I know you were doing a lot of things. So let's first talk about what people should do with their money. And what do I mean is that if people waited for a bottom, they kind of missed out, right? The stock market's exploding this morning with no really rationale. Riots, no problem, the market goes up. Record unemployment, no problem, the market goes up. Hey, by the way, more people are going back to work now. Market is up big this morning. The fear has gone down. A lot of people are waiting for a real estate bottom. If you look at the stock market, I mean, right now there's clearly good deals. I know we're doing tons of them as well right now. In fact, we're at a property right now. Paulie's at a property. And then buying some businesses where 33% of small business. I think this is a situation where the rich got really rich. $253 billion of added net worth during the coronavirus, yet small businesses are struggling. So why is it, in your opinion, big companies are succeeding while small businesses are hurting? Is this a classic example of the rich getting richer? Is it because they're big and public and they have this? Or is it also some small business have been thinking small, not educating themselves, not reinvesting in themselves, not preparing for something like this, not having cash on hand? I mean, you're talking about Apple and Microsoft and Facebook, a lot of cash on hand to not only survive, but now acquire. What are your thoughts?
Well, I think, when we go through anything like we've been going through, and this year, I'm very confident 2020 is going to end up being like the survival of the fittest in all aspects of that meaning, just based on how everything is going. And I think there's a lot of scenarios where you can't plan. Nobody could see any of this coming. But I think the importance is it doesn't matter what size business you are. It doesn't matter personally how much money you have or don't have. Like, you always need to plan. And, I look at it as I had an economics professor in college, and I think a lot of professors, you're like, okay, they're just teaching the textbook. He was an amazing professor, and he said a lot of things that are so relevant and so true and really just stuck with me and resonated with me. But one of the things that he had always taught us is, personally and in business, you always need to have, and he would swear, but just what he would call an FU fund. And what he meant by that is you need to always be budget and saving to have that money where if you ever needed to basically change careers, if you ever needed to make a huge business shift, if you ever needed to go in a different direction, if you ever needed to get rid of a bunch of people and start over, whatever the case was, it was almost like some people call it more like a rainy day fund. But he was always a big advocate and would always share with us the importance of having this, FU fund where you always were saving and had money kind of preparing for any scenario. And I think we're in a scenario now where the world is kind of saying, F you, where you need that money to save. And I think it's really important that regardless if, you know, what level you're at, what level your business is at, because you look at people that have small to medium sized businesses that are okay. Not all of them, but there are businesses that are like, okay, you know, I've been able to save where we have money kind of set aside. And then there's the businesses that just absolutely were not prepared for anything. If they had to go 1 week of being closed, you know, they weren't prepared for that. So I think it's important, regardless of the level, of that people really do look at what is the amount I need to kind of be putting to the side in the business account, in the person, you know, just setting aside for when something happens. Obviously, the bigger the business, the bigger the company, the more jobs that it has, the more the government's going to jump in and help, versus, you know, that small business. I also think the bigger the business, obviously, the more funds they probably have, the longer, hopefully, that they've been saving. But I do think there are going to be small businesses that survive. There's going to be medium-sized businesses that survive. There's going to be big businesses that survive. I do think there's also going to be big businesses that don't survive, and small and medium.
Oh, you're already seeing retails. Today you have JC Penney. They're going to be closing, including the one that's in Fort Myers near our office, and Cape Coral. So 2 JC Penney's. I think retail is I think what's going to happen is what you had a lot of these big box retailers, like retails that were like on every kind of mall, attached to every mall. And now if like you want to go to a JC Penney, it's not going to be convenient. You're going to have to want to go there as well. And I wouldn't be surprised if they're trying to double down with a online strategy. It's interesting because I was looking at the story, I was studying the story, and I'm going to actually do that on my show, Billionaire versus Millionaire, which was on my podcast, but now is on Millionaire Flicks, because it's interesting. People don't seem to want high level content of knowledge. But I studied the story of JCPenney when Rob Johnson, who worked at Apple Retail, and he worked at Apple Retail, and they tried to steal him away to run JCPenney. So here's a guy at Apple Technology, and he did the stores very successfully. And what happened is when he took over, he did it. Now, by the way, by walking over at Apple, he basically gave up $100 million, but JCPenney gave him $50 million as a hedge. So still lose $50 million to take this job, CEO of a big retailer, then put the $50 million in a 7-year option. Means he couldn't touch it for 6-7 years. And what he did is the business model of JCPenney was like, you get coupons. And then with the coupons, then, so the dress is $40, but every time you bring in your coupons, it's $8. And his whole thing when it came up is he said, all right, well, rather than tricking the customer, the coupons, let's just put it at $8 to start with, let's say, right? And for some reason, everybody was conditioned to get the coupons. And rather than trying it in an area, he did it blanket all across the company. And what they did is they lost literally over 35% of their customer base.
Well, that's like Bed Bath & Beyond. When, you know, we're doing events and I'm speaking on marketing all the time, I talk about Bed Bath & Beyond and how you won't go to Bed Bath & Beyond without your 20% off coupon. It's the same thing. Like if Bed Bath & Beyond stopped their 20% off coupons tomorrow, people would be like, well, I don't shop at Bed Bath & Beyond without my 20% off coupon. I do think right now, though, as a business, now, if you haven't already, you're a little bit late to the game, but if you haven't already, now is the time to really be investing in your online strategy. Because kind of just like you said, JT, I think if, you know, where you're investing your money, how you're trying to grow your business, I look at things that I want to buy where I normally would drive to the store, right? Like skincare products, I would normally go to the store, go in, I know exactly what I want to buy. Well, now I don't want to drive to the mall, walk into the mall, go to that store to buy what I need. I like that brand. I'm now going to go buy it online. So it's a big brand, you know, they're set up for online sales. But I think now, like in their case, what they need to work on is, we all know in like, especially ladies in the beauty store as a business, we all know when you walk in the store, it's really easy at the register to add in those impulse purchases, right? So in going into a store, I think a lot of businesses have become really good at the little things at the counter that become the add-ons. So now businesses are having to adapt to that online strategy, because if you don't adapt, everyone's just going to go to Amazon, right? They're going to go looking on Amazon. But I think it's adapting to online, and how do you recreate the impulse add-on so your revenue doesn't see a huge hit from adapting to online? So I think where business, I think that's a big place where businesses need to start looking at, how do I invest? Because more people, just like you said, want it online, want it delivered to their door versus having to go somewhere and interact with large groups of people.
If you guys can do me a favor, press the like button. Every single person, take a second. It helps the channel. We're doing this for free 3 times a day. All you gotta do is like. So we know how many people are, so we will be tracking. We will be tracking who liked what, when they liked it, if you didn't like. So also too, great video yesterday, 8 different ways of selling. Very advanced, was very, very good. So if you press the like button, take a few seconds. Also, please feel free to comment. I think also too, what's happening is because Amazon was overwhelmed, it actually opened other opportunities. You saw Walmart and other different businesses, because Amazon was like, you may or may not get it. And so they were having supply chain type issues, while a lot of the Walmart distribution systems are actually straight either from their stores, so they already have the distribution, or straight from their warehousing, which Arkansas, which wasn't affected as much. And they have a very good network. I think what small businesses were not equipped with is, how do I deliver my product and my service online while this is shut down? And so they're like, well, I'm shut down. And their lack thereof of online marketing, their database keeping really affected and have their inability. Interestingly enough, in one of the worst times right now, we've invested more in coaching. I've invested more in myself to make sure I make the right decisions. And I think once again, people are making the same mistake they did in 08, 09, 10. They're hoarding, they're waiting, and they're going to miss all over again. And I think the difference is, go ahead.
I was going to actually ask your advice, and we're going to go through this, like stair step this. Okay. If somebody right now only had $10,000 that they could invest. So not this is all they have to their name, but what they figured, I have about $10,000 I can invest to make money, whatever to invest. Where would you advise $10,000 would be best invested?
Well, I know I would do, but I would not recommend people to do that. For me, I'd put it in, for me personally, I'd put it into coaching,
right,
and find out exactly what do I need to do, what not to do. Okay. And assuming that 10 grand is not going to make you homeless if it doesn't work out.
That's what I'm saying. That's what you have to invest.
Right. Yeah. Because here's the thing too, like an example, like I pay for coaches and a lot of money. So anybody says, oh my God, like, first of all, here's the thing, fine. Don't get a coach, do it yourself, dump 10 grand in Facebook, and just like that, that'll be gone just like that. And you just made Mark Zuckerberg quicker. So to me, I just find out who the best to tell me. If I'm like today, I coached a person, they had a wrong name. They wanted to call themselves like tick marketing, tick. Like right. Tick is kind of so no, I'm like, don't call it that. No one's like, a tick is a negative connotation, right? And so I came up with another name, but I'm just giving an example. So I personally, and I wouldn't recommend anybody to do that. You know what I mean? I would do what everybody or all the other YouTube people are telling you to do, right? Do it yourself. You can get all this free information on YouTube and do it yourself and become successful and see how that works out for you. Okay. I was about to do $1 million deal, 12% return on my money with 1.5 million in equity. And my coach told me not to do it. And to be honest with you, without the coach, I would have done. And if the deal goes south, but there's a possibility it does, it would have cost me an extra $1 million to get out of the hole, to get my $1 million back, aggravation, time, market. So right. Don't tell me coaching does not matter. So to me, I would use right now, if you only have 10 grand, right? The only thing you really bring to the table, right? The only thing you bring to a table is your skills, right? Your effort, your work ethic, your ambition, your drive. And that's why the number one skill is selling. If you could sell, you could sell anything, right? So whether you want to be a property investor and trying to find a deal and have a partner, there's going to be opportunities now. We're going to be talking about this on next weekend, how to take over businesses for as low as $1. And before he told me it doesn't exist, I've got a desk full of people say, here, take my business. Now, it doesn't mean I'm not going to put any money. I may have to pay off existing debt. I may have to pay payroll. But sometimes, like, for example, we are taking over a piece of property now where the deal is $7,000 in cash flow. Like, it's $6,000, $7,000. And the person's here, take the building, you assume the loan. Like, here, you take over. Like, we have to put no money. And that's like, not every deal is like that. But even if it was a break-even deal, and I know I can add value, whether a business or a piece of real estate, I can do that. So I think people need to improve their skills, right? There is no system that's going to grow their money. I mean, what, like,
okay,
you could look at it.
Okay, so let's scale up now. Now I have.
Okay, first of all, do you agree with my assessment, or am I wrong here?
No, I do, because I think that's where your money's going to go the furthest, because you're going to get the advice and the knowledge and, you know, get that expertise. So I agree. So
and by the way, for those of you listening to this and being a hater, do it yourself. And I could tell you, I've seen more people blow money on things that don't make money.
I think that 10,000 is gonna it's gonna help save you a lot of money in mistakes, because if that's all you have to investable income, you can't make the wrong move.
Hey, we tried something new on Facebook. We spent $6,000 and it made us $197.
Right.
Just like that. And we know marketing.
Okay. So let's level up. Now I have $100,000 of investable. So again, this is not like, if I spend this, I have nothing left. I have $100,000 to invest. Maybe where do you invest it, or how do you break up that, or what would you, if you?
Well, it really depends what age you're at as well. So I'm going to start off that for, like, I had someone that was like 7 years old, and that's their last 100. And they're like, how do I make this grow? And my advice to them was, don't do anything. Keep that 100 there and trying to use your efforts, because there is no guarantee. I mean, 95% of people fail, and a lot of they fail because of their own doing. Trust me. Like for example, so I would say someone that age, just hold on to that. That's your trying to make that last for as long as possible. So I would not invest that if that's all you had left to invest. I'd put in something safe, a money market, you know, or high level, 5%, something with like, for example, there's something you can have what's called fixed income. And I've got a lot of that. I get 8% return on a fixed income type investments. I can't take the money out, but it's 8% income. So those just generate those types of deal. Or if you had 100,000, try to do kind of like what I did, like a hard money loan where you lend somebody, but it's backed up against the piece of real estate. You get 8% and make sure it's backed. There's a lot of equity. There's not a pie in the sky. And that's what I would do.
You're more middle-aged.
You're more middle-aged as well. Well, it just depends how much money you want to make and where you want to go, right? If you want to be a multimillionaire or a millionaire, well, at this point, you're going to have to learn how to take risks. So I would probably, what I do is I take a third and keep it into a bank account and just kind of let it sit there, again, on a fixed income. See, my philosophy has always been like 50%, once you get to a level where you feel like you've made it, 50% kind of like risk-free, 10% you're going to lose it all. Like, it's kind of like it, but it needs to make like 8 times more. If you invest 100,000, it needs to make 800,000, and 40%, anywhere between 12 to 16%, but secured, guaranteed, kind of like those types of investments. That's how it have to be. But if you have 100 and you want to get to $1 million, you know, you're going to have to take some chances. And the problem is that when you take a look at property investing, once you have 100 and you go take a look at properties, you're not going in the best areas, right? You're not going in the best areas as well. So you either partner with somebody else, they put 100, you put 100, now you're at 200,000, right? And now there's a better possibility of that as well. Or you partner with somebody that knows how to go into these areas and say, I have 100,000, I'll split 50-50 with you. You do all the work, and with someone with experience, someone knows what they're doing about it, and you flip the property as well. But they need to be very, very, very experienced. Or at this point, if they know what they're doing, taking over property businesses at a very minimal amount to buy an existing business and think of the long term as well. What I would take a look at is I would look at every opportunity and then decide based on the risk level and things like that. Not just say, I'm just going to look at properties. I'm just going to look at businesses. Just look at everything and then decide. Because too many times people look at one thing and they're going to miss up a lot of opportunities as well. Like for me, I'm a conservative, but I know when to take risks as well. But I know that if I have 100 grand and you're in your 40s and you want to be a multimillionaire, you're not going to work your way to millions. It's just not going to happen as well. So you're going to have to take a level of risk. And then if it doesn't work out, how do you feel about that as well? Are they still having their job that provides that income? Or is that, so there's a lot of scenarios on that as well. Or like I tell people, even if you have money to invest in real estate, sometimes, I mean, you're better off finding partners. I mean, there's a lot of people, a lot of money right now who don't have the drive, the work ethic to do it. They just want to make their money work for them. They need someone to do all the work, whether in business or real estate. So I put a third away, keep that, and I would play with the 70.
Got it. Okay. So I'm going to ask one more level, $500,000, because I know jumping from 100,000 to $1 million is a very big jump. So I'm going to say, let's just say you have $500,000 to investable funds.
I would, at this point, yeah, it's crazy because like you could put it in one deal, but if it doesn't work out,
that's everything.
That's everything. Then you could divide it into 2 deals and then you could double the aggravation as well. Again, I think what happens is, in my philosophy has always been, if you go wide and you get the deals to come, like it just depends what type of individual. There's some people you may have $500,000, right? Because of their job or their business, but they just don't know how to do deals. They don't know how to, they're very good at what they do, but they're not good at anything else. And they try to venture to something else. I mean, I'm lucky because I have a lot of different businesses, so I'm good at a lot of different things. I mean, here's the thing. I tell people that you'll always make more money investing with me than in doing yourself. That I promise you, because you're not going to outwork me. You're not going to get the deals I'm getting, because I get all the great deals first because people want to do business with me and send me. So you're not going to get the deals I have. Like I get the off-market deals. I get the off-market business opportunities.
It's funny you bring that up because I had a call this week with somebody that was like, well, if JT is coaching me and I invest in the private equity, I don't want to be competing. And my response was very, one, the deals JT is getting, you wouldn't even know are available. So it's not that you're both competing for that same deal, because you would not even know that that deal is a deal that's available to compete for. The second piece being, to me, it was very like, this world is a big place and there is a lot of deals all over the world. And to look at it like there's not enough deals and where to compete was kind of a crazy thought process to me.
Part of the problem too is I feel, and by the way, if you guys don't have Millionaire Flix, if you want to know what I know and educate yourself and have 51 of my courses, 4,000 hours of content for $20, how I invest in real estate, how I grow businesses, how I start a business, how I make money passively. I've literally got 51 different courses, and you can actually listen to every one of my coaching sessions from broke to where I am for $20 at Millionaire Flix. But too many people try to do it themselves. And I think here's the thing. I've lost a little bit of faith in people, some people, most people during this time period, because I think a lot of people try to do it themselves. They make stupid mistakes. We had a client buy a security company, and he bought a security company with a person that he thought would be a good fit to run the company, and they had never run. Like, you don't invest in people who then get invested in businesses. You invest in businesses that have people already. And that's a big mistake. And if he had just said to me, I would have saved him $1 million. He just you know what I mean? And sure enough, my prediction came through. The thing's a disaster. They lost contracts because it just doesn't make sense. And so it's hard. Most people fail. But I think my psyche is different, as I've proven to. I've started from zero again, even though I have a tremendous net worth. I'm getting the deals. I'm in the deals. I'm seeing the deals. I'm picking up the phone call. So for me, I know how to turn 500,000 into 5 million. That's just because I know what to do. Unfortunately, I realized that most people, like, this was an opportunity during the coronavirus to see who has a work ethic, who has a drive, who has desire, Who needs to say, you know what, finally, this is my opportunity. I missed 2008. This is my opportunity because this coronavirus has been the equalizer to everybody else. I'm going to go out there and I'm going to make it happen. And that did not happen. People end up watching broke flicks, right? You ask them to pay $20 for 51 courses and 4,000 and they don't do it, right? But when I sold my program to 5,000, by the way, you know how many, like sometimes you get attacked like, oh my God, JT, you're too expensive. You're trying to sell a high level program. You know, people run to the back at these big events. Fine. Take 51 programs for $20. And the people that complained that I was 5,000 still don't have millionaire flicks. And then a lot of people don't get it because you know what we hear them on? Well, what's the catch? Why is it so cheap? So the rationale makes no sense. I give all my programs, all 51, all 4,000. I've spent millions in coaching. Legitimately, I can prove it. Not just saying it, because I recorded every one of my coaching sessions in the last 10 years. The only man on this planet, and people can hear every advice, every failure I've ever had. And you offer all that for $20 and people say, well, why is it so cheap? What's the catch? Or, you know what I mean? But hey, ask them to sign up for Netflix for $14. That's easy. So I've realized that, you know, people wake up at 7, 8, 9, 10 o'clock. You know, I just realized most people are not going to make it. And I'm very clear, very clear.
I don't know how many people, you know, that had said this, but I mean, a big thing amongst people I know is when the quarantine started, it was like, I'm going to learn how to do this. Right. And, I think I have a new skill out of quarantine, out of something I've always wanted to learn. And this gave me the time to actually be able to learn it. So I have a new skill. And I think this is the difference, right? Is I spent 3 to 4 hours every night working on a new skill instead of, you know, doing something else. And I'm the type of person, as you're the type of person, and a lot of people watching this video, I'm now looking back at quarantine being like, I wish I would have also worked on my German. I wish I would have, like, I look back and it's like, why don't I have another skill? I should have also been doing this, where I think there's a lot of people that said, I want to work on this. And now here we are 3 months later. And
a lot of people haven't worked on their businesses. They haven't fixed their systems. They haven't fixed their processes. They haven't thought ahead. And that's what happens when people don't have the coaching. That's what happens when they're trying to do it themselves. I mean, I'm literally creating about 4 hours of content a day, right? Between the lives and everything, actually probably more. So about 5 hours on top of buying deals, on top of buying companies, on top of running my businesses, on top of building relationships, on top of managing things. And I can do it all. And I listen to about an hour and a half every day of content. And then I created a podcast. I read like about 45 minutes a day, news from all over the world, because I have a show on Millionaire Flicks, all the business and success news in less than 7 minutes. And then I created another one because I was getting bored of that. I still do it. Billionaire versus Millionaire, the logic of success. And I really because I studied Zoom and I studied Kylie Jenner and I studied like the difference between why is it billionaires? What do they have? How come the billionaires made 256 billion versus the millionaires? How pirates versus navies, time management from that. And I created this new podcast and the listener viewership was over 22% down. And I asked people, I'm like, hey, what's like, and they're like, yeah, it's good. It's not something I'd listen to every day. And I go to Millionaire Flicks now to listen to all the 7 business news because I like that one. I like listening to all the news in less than 7 minutes, which, by the way, that's very important to sharpen your business acumen. But that show actually made me smarter. So this morning, I quit doing it. It's now on Millionaire Flicks. I'm going to put it on there, right? Because I learned a lot. Like, I learned so much. I've actually felt like smarter. It actually made me feel good to learn something new. But most people, they don't get it. Maybe because they don't see themselves as a millionaire or a billionaire. But if I said how to make $1 billion by not working, by being a high ticket closer, you know, or how to do $1 billion deal, how to make $1 million being an influencer, right? Doing what I did. Yeah. Spend $15 million. Anybody can be an influencer. So, you know, how to buy likes. I'm an influencer. So I just realized most people don't get it. Most people want to baller. Most people want to do the sacrifice. Some people want to go to the pain, right? Everybody enjoys, they want the accolade of success. Like they want the result that's going to give, the money, what it could do. What I like about entrepreneurism is the process of it. I like the game.
Right.
I don't care about, like, when I win, I don't feel like when I win, it lasts for about 10 seconds. And then I complain about something I'm losing at, and I want to make that a winner.
That is very true.
Right. I just, and because if not, that's the only thing that drives me. It's the only thing that drives me, because winning is kind of like, because, but here's the thing too. I was on the road every day, almost 324 days a year, to like not traveling for 90 days. Today is my 90th day, by the way, of me not traveling. 90 days, not getting on a plane, first time. But you know what? I reinvented myself. I'm doing deals wherever I put my focus on is what works. Is it easy? No. If you have, out of 365 days, if you have 50 good days, you're going to be a millionaire. Most days are not good. And so if you want to download my brain, you want to have the same energy, the same enthusiasm, same sales skills, marketing, negotiating, branding, networking. I can do it all because I constantly work on my weaknesses. And another weakness we ascertained is that, you know what, we had a lot of things not in writing, and I'm already rectifying that. That's yesterday. So I'm just rectifying all my weaknesses. It turned to my strengths, so I'm protected. If you want all of that, go to millionaireflix.com and you'll be exact like me, or do it yourself. Watch other videos on YouTube, get motivated. Pain is temper and may last for a minute. You get all hyped up and then you don't do anything, right? Most people don't sharpen their skills. And by the way, if you're going to close against me one-on-one, you're going to lose. If you negotiate with me, you're going to lose. If you're going to network against me, you're going to lose. If we're going to write marketing headline copies, you're going to lose. If you're going to brand, you're going to lose. Because at the end of the day, I make sure that I work on those skills every single day. I practice business. At Millionaire Flix, you'll think exact like me, and if it's $20. And if you can't afford $20, that's okay. Don't get it, right? Because I don't want to get a text like, oh my God, JT's selling high price programs. Yeah, $20, 51 of them. And by the way, nobody's praising me for doing that, by the way, right? Like all the critics, they don't praise. So you got to sharpen your axe. You got to get coaching. You got to get coaching, right? You know, you just have to, it's not easy, but people, there's some people just not destined to succeed. That's all. They're just entrepreneurs. They want to be successful, but they're entrepreneurs. They don't have the same drive. Right? They're not on every live. They're not listening to, I mean, for being an A-list speaker, coach, #1 wealth business coach in the world, to give as much content and do this live, not some regurgitated webinar that's on autoplay, you know, during the whole coronavirus. I've literally created content every day. It's been different. I don't even know what I'm, you know, so, but that's it. At the end of the day, I can feel, but you know what? My money's made in the deals, and that's what I'm doing. I'm doing deals, companies, opportunities. We just did Inside the Deals. It'll be posted today. The deals I'm working on, you know, I mean, I'm not some fugazi, all right? I don't need to put myself next to a Lamborghini and flash some money and go into a plane. I don't need that. You understand? Because I can buy 10 of those. But the difference is it doesn't matter, because you know what? Those planes right now, they're sitting on the tarmac.
Yep.
Right? Every month you're paying. Right? Those cars right now, they don't make a difference, right? Because it's not about, I'd rather take a Lamborghini that 250,000 and put it into an asset, right? You know what the greatest ROI is? It's not an investment. It's your brain. Start feeding it. Get Millionaire Flix. And for those who have it, upgrade to level 2. Get that coaching weekly. You know what I mean? It's a small difference. Ask your question. Too many people are fans. They just listen to be entertained, but they don't do anything. Got to do something about it as well. So we'll be back at 3:30 Eastern time on the fan page today. We're going to be back on the fan page today. And also to tomorrow. Where are we going to be tomorrow? What are we doing this on tomorrow? Have we figured out? Not yet? We'll send an email. We're going to do it in the webinar. So tomorrow is going to be on the webinar. It's not a webinar. There's no selling tomorrow, but we're going to be self-contained.
Somewhere if you want to, but it is going to be in webinar.
Yeah. So if you want to sign up, jtfox.com/webinars, sign up for it Saturday. No selling. Tycoon, Frank McKinney, big name, high net worth individuals is going to be giving back there. And then I will be live coaching on Instagram. Watch the Instagram video I did yesterday, 50 minutes coaching this lady on a woman's product about hair exfoliation, which I knew nothing about. Watch the ideas, the brand, the name, the marketing. That's what great coaching is all about. Everyone go on Instagram, watch that. And right now, right after this video, please press the like button before you leave. Like. I just posted a video that premiered about 5 minutes ago. Gene Simmons and I, it's a 3-minute video on branding. Gene Simmons talks about branding. Gene Simmons from KISS. So on YouTube, search that, like that, give that away. So that's it. Millionaire Flicks, get it. Upgrade to level 2 if you're smart. That's okay. If not, don't get anything. Enjoy the video. Watch the sales video. I don't care. It really doesn't matter. Right? When people say I can't be done, then it just means that I have to do it. And I always will do it. Any final thoughts, Pac?
Nope. I'm late for a call, so.
We will see all of you at 3:30 on the Facebook fan page. See you tomorrow. Later.